Hi guys, welcome back. It's LSP. It's currently the 5th of February 2021, episode 5 of Forex trading, and our focus pair for this week is EURUSD. As always guys, if you are enjoying the series and the content, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future updates, and let's get straight into it. So if you've watched all of the series up to this point, you'll know that we were discussing Euro, and I mentioned yesterday in episode 4 that I was expecting the 119.50 to be triggered. I had a pending order, which was a limit buy down here, and I can tell you that the lowest, I think it was 119.52 today, was the low for today. Yeah, it was 119.52.35. Yeah, so I missed it by a couple of pips basically, and then I left the pending position open for a little while just to see if it kind of drove back down there, and it didn't. And then obviously non-farm payroll, and it's just been grinding higher ever since. But more importantly, yeah, than missing the entry, because this happens. This is trading. It's not the first entry I've missed, and this is going to happen, multiple times throughout your trading. We know this is standard issue. But more importantly is the analysis that we've done from series sort of 2 onwards on the Euro USD. We've kind of mapped out the entire process throughout the week. We knew what we were expecting, and it was a nice controlled process, right? Which is the whole point. The whole point is that we sit down, we go through this very precise procedure, yeah. And I have my own personal way of viewing the markets, yeah. Now this is, as we go through this process and we go through this kind of journey together, throughout the episodes, you're going to see me not regurgitating the same thing over and over again, but you're going to see me fluidly moving through the markets, generally using the same time frames, kind of going over the same general theme, because that's all you need. It's about simplicity. But going back to Euro, we had, should I say, as we mentioned, I say we, like there's more than one, but there's just me. But as I was talking about, we moved right into this area. Okay, rebalanced nicely, and then we got that nice reaction. Now, there's a couple of things to note before I, shoot off for the weekend. I really wanted to see a nice drive down into, the 119.50 level, okay, which was down here, or this general area. I wanted to see price accelerate, in the London session on the Wednesday. And then I wanted to see that on the Thursday, mainly the Thursday. This was yesterday. I wanted to see price drive down there very quickly as it was reaching for liquidity to absorb some of this buy liquidity and then get a really nice reaction away from that. And then today I was expecting the same thing, and I had that pending order there, just sitting there, more than comfortable. Quite a wide stop of 50 pips, as I explained yesterday in the in the other episode. But I needed to see that acceleration. And I mentioned, I believe it was on Wednesday, that we're probably going to end up seeing a slow bleed, yeah? Because it was a nice, if you look at the hourly chart, it's quite controlled throughout the week, yeah? So as we look at this hourly chart, you can see this nice controlled price behavior throughout the week. It's controlled, it's controlled, it's controlled. There's no erratic behavior. There's only this acceleration here and this acceleration here, but generally it's just a nice, fluid, controlled week. And then we get this really nice, again, it's still quite controlled price action. Just here, started to accelerate a little bit, but it's been quite controlled. Even the reaction away from this level has been quite controlled. So going into next week, what I'm going to be looking for. If I just go over to the weekly briefly, okay. So here's our weekly. All right. Let's zoom in a little bit and just take a look at where we're at. So there's the weekly, all right? We started up here, had a really nice drive lower, okay? We know what this area is here. We can't see it on the weekly chart, but obviously on the daily we know what this is. We've had a nice reaction away from that so far, okay? Now it is possible that going into next week, that we see, a little bit more downside first, and then it continues higher. So we've got a lot of variables to work with now going into next week. So what I'm going to do, it's like 4:30 GMT time now. Unless something spectacular happens, I'm not expecting too much now before the market closes later this evening. So going into the weekend, I'll have a quick look, at Euro USD, and then I'll have a scan through, the pound USD, the pound Japanese yen, USD Japanese yen, and some of the other majors, and I'll have a look and see if there's anything that kind of stands out. It's not always going to be focused on the Euro USD. I'm going to be cycling through lots of different pairs, lots of different asset classes. There's going to be some gold thrown in there as well, some of the things that I'm paying attention to. But mainly, the focus is going to be on education and pushing this idea of the trader, is what we work on, and we need to. Each individual trader has to have an intuitive, understanding of what they're trying to accomplish when they're trading. Okay, so that's the main focus with this. So don't worry too much about, oh God, it's always Euro USD. It won't be. But going into next week for Euro USD, we have more to work with now. So we've had a nice reaction off the weekly so far. We know this. We've seen the whole week unfold. Remember how this week has unfolded. So going into next week, remember this experience this week. Yeah, how it unfolded this week, so we have that experience going into next week. Yeah, then we drop down to the daily to get a little bit of a feel how the daily looks. All right, so here's our daily. You can see a nice reaction from that. Really want to see this area cleared here. We've got a little bit of, and what we'll do, we have a little bit of, get some drawing tools up here. So we've got a rectangle. So we've got a little bit of an area up here that could potentially stop price to start with. We would generally need to clear this, okay, before price, continues and really starts to gain some legs. But this is going to be the first area, that if price does continue going high, it's probably going to stall here for a little while. Because remember, we're dealing with quite high, these time frames, the weekly, the daily. I mean, they take some time to unfold. So first initial response, very good. We'll see what happens next week, sort of Monday, Tuesday. That's the first couple of days, Monday and Tuesday, they're the days that I want to focus on the most, and depending on how that, those 2 days unfold will give us what we need on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, yeah? And then obviously we have the other pairs that we're going to be monitoring as well, and we'll see if there's anything else of interest going into next week. It's unfortunate that we missed this trade this week. But we don't catch them all, obviously. But I'm very happy with the way that this week's gone. I hope you guys enjoyed it. There's obviously a lot more to come, but the balance still currently sits at £250 with the £750 in the savings account. So £1,000 total. No trades opened so far. Nearly though. So I hope everybody has a great weekend. I hope you enjoy the video. And I will catch up with you guys over the weekend or possibly Monday. Depends on whether I do an analysis video over the weekend. Okay, take care and I will speak to you soon.